Hello everyone, and this is a cartoon discussion video on the one only Adult Swim. Adult Swim, the programming block. And Adult Swim is a very interesting programming block. Especially like back then and today, it's always been interesting. I always found it interesting programming block. But at first, when I was a kid, I didn't really like this block because the shows were too different for me to like and stuff. And the main contributor to why I didn't like Adult Swim growing up is because to be honest, it was like the Fox shows that were on Adult Swim, like the King of the Hills, Bob's Burgers of the world. And I found when I was a kid, I found those shows really boring. So, and they be using King of the Hill and like Bob's Burgers for like years to safely pivot into the block itself. Yeah, that's my reason that at least when Adult Swim became like 24 hours at least, because the block wasn't always 24 hours. Because it was usually like Toonami was usually like the late night block that usually for like older audiences back then. Yeah. Even though I didn't really like the early programming on the block itself, I did when I was like in my teenage years. I really enjoyed like the late night shows that come on, like especially like toward 11 o'clock or midnight. So the Aqua Teen Hunger Forces of the world, the Robot Chickens of the world, even home movies of the world. Yeah, those are the more interesting cartoons that I found on Adult Swim. I'm a really big fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, especially, especially since more interesting shows come on later on during the nighttime, while the more boring shows usually show early up in the day and stuff. And this became more apparent. The boring early shows became more of a problem, I think, when Adult Swim start airing earlier during the daytime. Especially since it's still like King of the Hill and Bob's Burgers all over again, which I necessarily find boring and stuff. Even though this is mostly like a retrospective, the main reason why I wanted to make this video was specifically cartoon stands on here on YouTube, which I don't necessarily understand what type of videos they make. Especially ever since Adult Swim start airing early on during the days with Checker Pass and everything. They make a cartoon stands like making these cringy videos, especially saying that Cartoon Network is being taken over by Adult Swim or Cartoon Network gets getting robbed or yeah nonsense like that, which I don't really understand because Adult Swim is Cartoon Network. They're the same thing. I mean, they might not have the same shows, but Adult Swim is a programming block on Cartoon Network. Yeah, it's all part of Cartoon Network. Toonami, Cartoonito, and Maguzi. Yeah, all of it's technically Cartoon Network at the end of the day, even Adult Swim. So I don't really understand this argument of thinking that Adult Swim is completely different from Cartoon Network because they're pretty much the same thing on the same channel as well. So I don't really understand that. I don't understand that argument. I think the cartoon stands do know that Adult Swim is a programming block of Cartoon Network, but they treat it as if it's completely different, which is the honestly most cartoon stands usually don't like, which I don't understand. Yeah. Other than that, if we were to talk about more about Adult Swim, I'm hoping that if Adult Swim does get more extra hours and if Adult Swim gets more extra hours and more airtime, or at least if it becomes its own channel, at least it helps it airs more Checker Pass, more older cartoons and stuff. And hopefully they'll expand Toonami as well. Because Adult Swim used to air animes all the time. It wasn't just specifically Toonami where they air animes. Adult Swim back then used to air animes all the time. At least when it wasn't on every single day, it was kind of like Adult Swim back then was kind of like a rare block that would come on like certain days at 11 o'clock. Yeah, it used to air animes like Cowboy Bebop and stuff. And I think it was what's that show again? Bleach. It's Bleach and this other show, Yu Inasha, I think it's what it's called. Used to air animes as well. Speaking of animes, you have Toonami, which I honestly believe is cool. I mean, the Adult Swim Toonami isn't as interactive as like the old Toonami because the old Toonami bumpers were very like interactive with the audience. It encourages you to watch the animes on the channel, and the Adult Swim Toonami isn't kind of like that. I think they mostly focus on the shows itself rather than the bumpers. But the bumpers can be if Toonami has really good bumpers. They can really attract a large audience like it used to be. Yeah. And if they're going to expand Adult Swim more often on the channel, at least expand more on Toonami. I mean, I know they have Toonami Rewind as a block now, but I want to see some new animes as well. So at least expand it on Saturdays. You know, not just on midnight, because Toonami's been airing on midnight for years now. So I was hoping they will expand Toonami during the at least during the 7 or 8 o'clock, or at least primetime blocks. Make Toonami like a primetime block. This is what I want and stuff. Especially since more cartoons are going on Adult Swim anyway. Especially more action oriented cartoons like My Adventures with Superman and the new Invincible Fight Girl that I saw a preview of on Twitter. Yeah, that's coming soon. Yeah. And also, I also heard that Adult Swim is its own channel on Canada and more of the European countries, which I honestly wouldn't mind if there's more Checker Pass and Toonami on the channel as well as the other Adult Swim cartoons as well. Because an adult programming block during like most of the day, like FFX, can work. Judging by that, like yeah, for example, FXX, yeah, that's the block that shows most of the Fox cartoons. Yeah, that can definitely work for Adult Swim as well. Yeah, and Adult Swim usually gets this unfair act for reputation with cartoon stands alike. For some reason, they don't like cartoon stands alike. Don't like Adult Swim for some reason. I mean, if you're watching cartoons in general, Cartoon Network, you're more likely watching Adult Swim as well. So I don't really understand this hate for Adult Swim, especially since it's more of the you replace my childhood kind of audience. You know, audience still don't want to let go of their childhoods and stuff, which is kind of weird. Yeah, that's been my review on Adult Swim and my experience with the block. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more cartoon discussion videos. Because I was planning on doing more cartoon discussion videos throughout the week, such as like running gags, or I was planning on doing a cartoon discussion video on running gags and marketable gags in cartoons that I wanted to make as well. I wanted to make a cartoon discussion video on that as well. So if you guys like to see that, leave it in the comment section below. And that's it.